Hello everyone, welcome to this video. With the 2019 season fast approaching, I thought it would be a great time to do my 2019 predictions. It was really hard to make this video, and I switched my predictions multiple times. Really, it's impossible to guess how competitive everyone will be. So my predictions will be split into 3 videos. In this video, I'll give my predictions for the Constructors Championship, Part 2 will be the teammate battles, and Part 3 will be the Drivers Championship. Well guys, let's get into things. And remember, if you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and leave your own predictions in the comments section below. So, in 10th place, I have Williams. It didn't take me that much thought for me to put them in 10th. While I do think they'll improve, they won't be good enough to be any better than last. Williams only scored 7 points last year, while their nearest rival Toro Rosso scored 33, which is a very big gap to overhaul in just one season. But they got a pretty solid lineup of George Russell and Robert Kubica, so I think they'll do just fine and score somewhere in between 15 and 25 points this season. In 9th place, I have Toro Rosso. Again, it was pretty easy for me to rank them. I would have put them a bit higher, but the reason why they're so low is purely down to reliability. Even last season, Toro Rosso were taking engine penalties almost every race, and it's only going to get worse this year. With Red Bull switching to Honda engines, Toro Rosso will be used as kind of a guinea pig team to test out the engine. They'll be taking a lot of grid penalties this season, and it will cost the team a lot of points. However, I'm expecting some good races from the team. I can see Daniel Kvyat taking a 5th or 6th at some point in the season. So basically, I think Toro Rosso will be quick, but inconsistent, which is why I've put them in 9th. 8th place goes to Mclaren. They will have decent pace, and hopefully the Renault engine will be more reliable this year. This season is all about gradually rebuilding and preparing for 2021, realistically the earliest they can fight for championships. They got decent drivers in Carlos Sainz and rookie Lando Norris, and I think they'll be sort of in the lower end of the midfield around the fringes of the points. But they need to develop the car as the season goes on. Last season, development was non-existent. McLaren was barely faster than Williams by the end of the season. So if the Renault engine is reliable, the drivers step up and they develop the car, McLaren should be good for 8th. Okay, 5th to 7th was really hard, but in 7th place I have Sauber, or Alfa Romeo, their new name. Having a driver of Kimi Räikkönen's caliber will really give Alfa a big boost. His experience and speed will be beneficial to the team. He will be a consistent point scorer and will always be a contender for the best of the rest battle. I don't think Giovinazzi will be as consistent, but he will have some good races and will have solid raw pace. With Fred Vasseur as team principal and a close partnership with a Ferrari, I think that Sauber should be good for 7th. In 6th place, I have Haas. I really like their new livery. If the car is as fast as it looks, then they're definitely a team to watch out for. Pace-wise, they're probably better than 6th, but they may lose out to the other teams ahead because of their inconsistency. Both their drivers, Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean, are quick but inconsistent. The same can be said about their 2018 car. Sometimes it was the class of the midfield, other times they're barely faster than Williams. If this trend continues this year, I think they'll be 4th or 5th in terms of raw pace, but they will end up down in 6th on points because of costly mistakes. In 5th place, I have Racing Point. This is a team that's always punched above their weight, and will hopefully be more of the same in 2019. Now that they're in a more stable financial situation, they'll be able to develop and improve the car this season. Sergio Perez will once again be a contender for the best of the rest battle, as he's always been, and maybe he can get a lucky podium like he sometimes does. And I know Lance Stroll isn't the quickest driver, but I do think he'll surprise a lot of people and will be better than expected. I've been talking a lot about inconsistency costing teams a lot of points, but that's not the case with Racing Point. They've always been very consistent and they rarely have off days. So if Racing Point continue to do what they've been doing for the last few years, I think they'll get 5th. 4th place will go to Renault. People have been split over whether they'll beat Red Bull or not, but I don't think it will be possible this season. While Renault will be very strong, I just can't see them being better than Red Bull. I can see them being in a similar position to Force India in 2017. They're better than all the other midfield teams, but not quite strong enough to challenge their front-running teams. In my opinion, they have the best driver lineup on the grid of Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo. So I can see Renault being head and shoulders above the midfield, but not yet quite strong enough to challenge Red Bull. Well, my Renault prediction kind of revealed this one, but third place will go to Red Bull. With the switch to Honda engines, I can see Red Bull taking a bit of a step back this year. They will still be quicker than Renault, but will certainly be farther away from Ferrari and Mercedes than they were last season. If I was Red Bull, I would have Renault on the radar, but I wouldn't view them as an imminent threat. Sure, Red Bull will be lagging behind in the engine department, but aero-wise, they're head and shoulders above the rest of the field. The Honda engine only has to be within 3 or 4 tenths of the Renault engine, and Red Bull's fantastic aero will make up the deficit. However, the real issue isn't pace, but reliability. That's the main concern with the engine switch, and I think mechanical issues and grid penalties will really hurt them. Not enough to be beaten by Renault, but they will certainly be off the pace of Mercedes and Ferrari. So 2019 will not be Red Bull's year, but they will certainly be a force to be reckoned with in the future. Okay, now this is where it really gets exciting. In second place, I have Mercedes. I think their 5-year domination of the Constructors' Championship will end in 2019. It's not because they'll get that much worse, I just think that Ferrari will be slightly better this season. Both teams will be very strong, but what I think will make the difference will be the drivers. Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton have always been very close, basically canceling each other out. I don't think there's going to be too much of a difference between both of them. This leaves Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. While I do think Valtteri Bottas will be better than he was last season, I just think Leclerc has the edge in terms of consistency and raw pace. This is ultimately what will make the difference. I think Mercedes will be again really good this year, but I wouldn't say they're the clear favorites. Last season, their car was inferior to Ferrari, and this season their driver lineup is also inferior. I predict that Ferrari will win the 2019 Constructors' Championship, putting an end to Mercedes' dominance. The lineup of Leclerc and Vettel is better than Hamilton and Bottas. Both Ferrari drivers are quick enough to always have a chance at winning races. This was not the case last season with Kimi Räikkönen as their number 2 driver. Only Lewis Hamilton is capable enough to consistently be winning for Mercedes. Bottas might take a few wins, but he's not good enough to be a championship contender. Ferrari's package has always been very quick, and if it's as good as last year's, I simply can't see them losing. It will certainly be very close, and I don't think it will be decided by more than 20 points. Well guys, those are my 2019 predictions, for the teams at least. They weren't the boldest or the most controversial, but I'm pretty confident my predictions will be fairly accurate. Part 2 will be even more interesting. I'll be doing all of the inter-team battles, and it's going to be even harder to predict with all the drivers moving to different teams and new drivers coming to F1. I really want to hear your predictions for the 2019 season, so be sure to post them in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!